Hey everyone, it's Michael and welcome back for this new video. I'm super excited for today's design because lately I've had so much ideas for this channel, but I couldn't wait anymore, so after exploring women in typography in my previous video, I just had this idea of maybe try to create my own font. Because what better way to understand women in typographic design that I just talked about than by creating my own and try to work like them. So today we will learn about typographic rules, of course, but I will also try to create my own font and we will see how it ends. So first of all, I obviously need to learn more about typographic rules, and that's why I just asked my best friend, Google. And the first thing you can read on Google is this. Go to a library and get a few great books to start. Then, if you want to create fonts, and draw as many letter forms as you can. So let's keep that in mind. But before, let me present to you kind of a recap of typographic rules. So first of all, you have to understand that typography isn't just picking a pretty font. It's kind of an art and a technique of arranging type to make written language legible, readable, and visually appealing. And based on the website of the well-known The Future, it's also a lot of questions and words that I don't quite understand. And apparently he even created a school that is not available anymore. But never mind, I can still use my other best friend, YouTube, where you can find a lot of free courses. Oh, and hello again, the future is everywhere. So after going through videos, I learned that typography is everywhere because it's a tool that we use to convey a message that is clearly essential to our society. So if you want to learn more about some typographic rules, you can, just like me, go on YouTube and have some free courses, but here is a small recap of what I learned. First of all, there is a difference between typeface and font. So a typeface describes a particular style of lettering, when a font refers to the variation of the typeface, like its size or its weight. And there is also a high difference between the letters to differentiate the capital letters from the others. And also there is different widths and you can play with them on your software. And there is also hierarchy, and to have kind of a balanced work, you quite need to use it often. So you can think like this: title, subtitle, and body text. You can use font size, weight, and positioning to organize your information and have a clear hierarchy. And I will give you a little tips about how to have the perfect font size between your title, subtitle, and body text, which is the golden number, 1.618. So you just have to take your paragraph size, let's say 12 pixels, multiply it by 1.618, and the result is 19 pixels. And here your visuals became quite more harmonious. And another rule is font pairing. And don't just take two fonts because they are trendy. Maybe it will not work. You can use contrast and complement fonts to have something more harmonious and balanced. And that's why it exists 7 main groups of typefaces, which are sans serif, serif, calligraphic, script, handwriting, black letter, and display font. So you can combine a serif with a sans serif, or you can use two fonts from the same family but with different weights. But don't pair it to display fonts, because they will compete for attention. And once you've chosen your font, let your visual breathe. That's why you need to use white space. More space equals more focus. And as it is our mantra, less is more. And finally, also be aware of kerning, which is the space between two individual characters or letters and also tracking that refers to the space between a group of letters. And there is so many other things to know, like for example ascender and descender, stroke variation, round forms should be bigger than square ones to have it balanced. So here is a recap, so screen it. And finally, after all this time and researches, I kind of know some rules. Maybe not all of them, but maybe the most important one. And so after all this time of researching and learning, I kind of know what kind of typography I want. I want something to represent me, myself, my personality and everything. So to do that, I need to define me, and that's why I will do a mood board, obviously. So as you can see on this mood board, I really like colors and images to express myself, and I would like something playful, funny, easy to read, but with kind of a character in it. So I decided to go with my handwriting, because what better way to be me than use what is me? So it's time to use my beautiful notebook and start the process. Once again, I will use the magic phrase: go to a library and get a few great books to start. Then if you want to create fonts, draw, draw and draw as many little fonts as you can. So I started with a paper pen, but then I thought maybe I can use another pen, so the letters will be bigger and rounder, I guess. So I just started the process over again for each letters. And after all of this writing, it's time to open my soulmate, Illustrator. And I vectorized everything. But I kind of forgot that it will also vectorize the notebook's lines. I guess we learned from our mistakes. So after this long and not that joyful moment, I kept only the letters that I wanted, and it's time for me to put everything on the same height to have a coherent and readable typography. So now that I'm done with all of the letters, I want to use my typo and on every softwares and everywhere. But how to do that? Don't worry, I'm here to help you. So after some researches, I found this website, Calligraph. And you can also find the website link in the description. So once you opened this website, you just have to create your account and download your wanted templates. For me, I just choose English letters and numbers. It's easier like that. And I also recommend to download the template in PNG instead of PDF if you are using software like Illustrator like me. Then you just have to put your calligraph pages in your software, and I will recommend you to have the shadowy letters because it will be easier as an example to put your own types on it. Finally, you can load a model by adding your final templates in the website and just choose your font names. For me, obviously, I called it Milkow. And here you are, you can just download it and you can have the typography in your font library. Amazing, right? Okay guys, so I'm done for today's video. And tell me if you liked my fonts, or maybe create your own fonts and send me your creations. So as always, don't forget to like, to comment and to subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye!